morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. I am coming to you live and raw, no unfiltered, no makeup. Happy Saturday. So if you've been following along with my lives, I am covering the Idaho 4 case, which seems to me appears to be a mystery still. We know that Brian Koberger pled guilty. Yes, we know this, but for me, this is still an unsolved mystery. Okay, so if you want to join me on this journey, welcome. So, my last live, I went into a deep dive into the Grubtruck video, and which led me into some questions related to Kaylee and Kaylee's family. So what I want to do today is play Steve Goncalves' interview. Steve Goncalves is Kaylee's dad. And in that interview, there's something very interesting that he said, and I just want to share that with you guys. Let me share my screen. Boom, here we go. This interview was conducted by Fox News. Okay, let me get out the way and enlarge this. And here we go. And this channel is for, I cover cases in which I feel that, justice hasn't been served, or there's corruption in the legal system, etc. So, I'm seeing some comments on my last live. I guess there's a lot of new people that joined. Thank you, all my new subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate it. Almost to 1,000. But honestly, these things don't matter to me. What matters to me is that my video is seen by a lot of people and that people start questioning these things that we all are questioning, right? Someone made a comment as to I'm getting my time in on YouTube. I don't know what the fuck that means. Excuse my language. I know it's super early, but no, I'm not getting no time. I'm doing this for justice. What's wrong with people? Anyway, let me continue.
Good evening, America, and welcome to this special edition of Cross Country in Moscow, Idaho. Tonight, we are in front of the Moscow Police Department, and you may be asking why. It's been about 3 weeks since the horrific stabbing death of 4 college students at the University of Idaho. 3 weeks since we lost Zayna, Maddie, Kaylee, and Ethan. 3 weeks, and still the police have no suspect or person of interest. The community has been left in limbo, left with more confusion and more questions. We are on the hunt for answers for them. Moscow deserves answers. The students of the university deserve answers. These 4 young innocent victims deserve answers, and so do their families. So let's start there. Joining me now on set, the parents of Kaylee Goncalves, Christy and Steve Goncalves. Thank y'all so much for being with me. You guys have been so
this is also a channel for commentary for all my new subscribers. Therefore, I will be pausing the video. However, I do link the video in the description. If you want to see the video without any commentary, you can go there. However, like what I do here is provide commentary. And the first thing I want to say is that I don't want to bash these parents. I do not. I'm a mother. I can't even imagine. I'm not here to bash these parents. I'm here to listen to the interviews and listen to what they're saying to see if they knew of some involvement, if they knew of something, okay?
So transparent and strong for the public. Christy, you called the person that did this the boogeyman.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
It's literally like what nightmares are made of. Like when you're a little kid and you think of the boogeyman, that's just how I feel. Like that's just the horrific details of everything. Them just having a good time, going home and going to bed, and that's happening to them.
Your best friend crawling into bed.
just crawling in bed,
Every
and the
girl in
boogeyman
America
comes.
knows what that's
The
like.
boogeyman doesn't, meet you at McDonald's. I mean, the boogeyman comes and snatches you out of your bedroom.
Steve, we've been talking. I've been talking to folks in the community. You said something that stuck with me. You said, until this person is caught, you can't sleep in your bed.
No, I can't just lay in my bed and do nothing. That's not the way I raised my family. That's not the way I raised my girls and my son. You don't be a victim. You stand up for yourself and you do everything in your power to make sure people hear you. And they're gonna hear Kaylee. They're gonna hear Maddie. They're gonna hear these.
The other two as well.
Well, of course we're hearing them. Of course we're hearing them. Why do you think we're still covering? Why do you think we're still covering this case? I feel strong connection to Kaylee. I do.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm careful saying anything about them because I need to be careful because I can't speak on somebody else's child. But these two girls, I'm not trying to be a glory hound, but these two girls, I'm gonna do what I can do, and we're not being victims. We're gonna fight.
So I don't like this. I don't like that he automatically separated and divided the victims here with this statement. He said we're going to look after the two girls, meaning Maddie and Kaylee. But how about Ethan and Xana? Why divide? Why are you dividing yourself? This should be a collective fight for justice, a collective fight for justice. Why divide yourself here? I don't like it. I don't like it. It reminds me of Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito, they did the complete opposite. That family, see how that family came to the forefront, united. Although she came from a broken home, she had a stepmom and a stepdad, and all four were united for justice for that little girl. Here, it's like the complete opposite. It's like all families divided.
We're gonna figure out how to make sure that we hold everybody, accountable, and we keep eyes and attention on this.
He said we hold everyone accountable. So not just Brian, right? Not just Brian Kohlberger. Who's everybody?
Thing resolved.
Steve, you have made it very clear to our audience that you are supportive of law enforcement. You support the investigation. But recently, I've been watching and talking with you, and you're getting frustrated. What does that frustration come from, sir?
They put certain people between you.
You see that window there? Is that Xana's bedroom window?
And the officers that are making things happen, and those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong. We're going to take that hit. So the officers, they look me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can, but somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out there. Like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not going to heal until this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't going to happen. Think it through. It's not going to happen. He has to be off the streets. We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday,
we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
about 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And did y'all get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update.
They received an update Thursday at 3 p.m. Thursday at 3 p.m. So wait a second, because Sunday, wow, that's a lot of time. Sunday's when they discovered the bodies, right? Thursday, that's a lot of time. Glenn, we need more channels like your Stoner Detectives. They should be better. Competitive victimization at large. I'm trying to take a break, but somehow it's not working. Hi, Glenn. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Is that the window by the sink in the kitchen. That's what I was looking at. Let me go back. Jules, thank you for joining my live. Good morning. Let me go back.
Needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could.
Date from the police about the investigation.
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They needed me to sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something
Some mail.
that was mail related.
This is crazy. I feel so bad for them. Are you listening to this? They didn't hear anything until Thursday, and then they needed to sign a waiver. What?
We're working with them. We're not selling them out. We love our law support.
The FBI, everybody that's here, we just have no information as family, and it gets tough day after day after day. I mean, every day you just wake up and think today's the day. We're going to hear something, and you see these, oh, there's a break in the case, and it'll just be something stupid.
The sixth person on the lease that was never there. Stop playing games. This is serious. These are people's lives, and this is the future of this community. There's going to be 10,000, 15,000 kids that come into this community next year, or they don't. So I'm serious.
I had the opportunity to speak to some of my sources, and I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse it back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically.
Law enforcement told them it was targeted.
And they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted.
Why? Why would you say it's targeted, then come out and say it's not? You can't do this to families. You can't. What's wrong with these people?
But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to
may
go
have
up the
been targeted.
steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody.
Here. Okay. This is what I wanted to highlight in this video today because I brought this up in my last live. And here's the part where he mentions, here's the part where he does mention that they didn't need to go upstairs. Let's stop playing games. Let's listen to that part, okay? I'm sorry that I'm pausing this so much, but I'm trying to get to the point, you know?
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to
may
go
have
up
been
the
targeted.
steps. Let's stop
Did he
playing
say he
games,
or
guys.
they?
I need somebody to step up.
They're very emotional right here. I feel so bad for them. They're very emotional here. Steve is super emotional. Let's go back.
Confirm that.
we cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and it's, I mean, I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911, somebody was reported unconscious. We don't really know. I mean, we've heard so many different things, and nothing has been clarified or been told to us at all. And I mean, I don't know if I personally have asked anything about that. I don't know if you have asked that, but we know that this is getting 3 weeks in, and it's starting to get, we don't want it to go cold. We're reaching out. I reached out to friends down in California today that have connections that we're hoping to raise some money to get a reward, to get a private investigator.
Third party.
Why go the private route? Do y'all?
I don't blame them. If you're not hearing answers from law enforcement, wouldn't you do the same? I honestly don't blame these people for doing this. What do you guys think? Let me go to the chat. They said in another interview that they knew at 12:30. Wow. Tubi has, no, I haven't, Jules. I haven't watched it yet. What? Tubi is stepping up their game. And he paid the bill. I don't know. My God, I don't know what to think about this, but let's play this again. I mean, would you not hire a third party investigator if law enforcement is holding out and not giving you any information about the death of your child?
Worried that at the end of this week, that this case may be
100%.
cold.
We're scared.
When you
We're
tell me you
scared.
don't want a photo up there with the reward,
I don't understand. I don't understand because if we look at interviews from Stacy Chapin and the Othram folks, to me, it sounded like they had answers right away. To me, it's like they knew who did this. If you listen to those interviews, this family here is asking questions. Stacy, on the other hand, over there is with Othram trying to, I don't know. What the fuck, yo? Is this not fucking weird or what? I don't know. I don't know. Let's play. Let's continue.
offering information. That kind of sounds like you're trying to like suppress the story. I mean, why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong. And you officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want to,
absolutely.
please forgive me. Please forgive me. But if you don't have the information, people do know. If they don't, then you
Give
know,
us
the
something.
community, this is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us older
Wow. A community that's IT based. Wow.
people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful. So that's what we asked for. I hope like a DNA, family lineage, if they could come out here and just start taking, this town is not that big. We could figure out.
Why he brought out DNA for? Interesting. A family lineage. DNA, a family lineage. So does this man believe that it was someone in the community that committed this crime? Does he believe it's someone in the community at this point that committed this crime? Huh? What do you guys think? Listen to what he's saying.
Back in the box, and I can speak on that.
I was also told from sources that are closer to an investigation, because there was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of this crime scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body there. Can you confirm that?
We cannot actually. We know nothing about that whole phone call. We've asked, and it's. I mean, I know that a lot of people want to know, but that's just not our agenda. We just are like, somebody called 911. Somebody was reported unconscious. We don't really know.
Why wouldn't you? They know. They know. They know. Why are they not speaking on it? You think? Why do you think they're not speaking on it? They know. They know. Stacy had prior info. The Goncalves knew the motives and cause, however, and are holding back. The crypto has to come into the equation at some point. Steve knows it was in the community. Glenn, he literally said, this is an IT-based community. You know? So he knows Stacy was busy writing that book, going to CrimeCon, that when she met Othram, gut feeling, he knew why that happened to Kaylee. Damn.
I mean, we've heard so many different things, and nothing has been clarified or been told to us at all. And I mean, I don't know if I personally have asked anything about that. I don't know if you've asked that, but
Why not?
we know that this is getting 3 weeks in.
But isn't that weird? Why not? That would be my first thing. Yo, I would be at Dylan Mortensen's house, knocking on doors. Bethany Funk's house, family's house, parents' house, grandmother's house, grandfather's house, dog's house, knocking doors. What the fuck happened to my kid? Hunter Johnson, I'd be up in there knocking doors. What the fuck happened to my kid? Emily, you're not, Emily Alon, you're not getting left behind. No, baby. What the fuck happened to my kid? Talk. Josie's on a vacation far away, knocking on their fucking parents' door. What happened to my kid? What happened that morning that you went and you saw my child on the floor with in a blood pool? Tell me what you see. Why aren't they asking these questions? Why are they just brushing it off like whatever?
Starting to get, we don't want it to go cold. We're reaching out. I've reached out to friends down in California today that have connections that we're hoping to raise some money to get a reward, to get a private investigator.
Third party.
Why go the private route? Do y'all worry that at the end of this week that this case may be
100%.
cold?
We're scared.
When you
We're
tell me you
scared.
don't want a photo up there with the reward offering information,
That's so sad. They're thinking this case is going to go cold. Meanwhile, we have Othram and law enforcement. They're fucking trying to, you know, working on a conspiracy to put this to Brian Koberger, to blame this atrocity on Brian.
that kind of sounds like you're trying to like suppress the story. I mean, why do you not need help? But hey, I could be wrong. And you officers, I apologize if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want to,
absolutely.
please forgive me. Please forgive me. But if you don't have the information, people do know. If they don't, then
Give us
the
something.
community, this is a community that is IT based. These guys live a digital footprint like we've never. All of us older people, we don't know how much that digital footprint could be helpful.
Yes.
So that's what we ask for. I
Yeah.
hope like a DNA, family lineage, if they could come out here and just start taking, this town is not that big. We could figure out this, and it might not be him. It might be a family member. We have family all going to the school together. You know, there's cousins, there's aunts, there's uncles. We could
Yeah.
find this guy
Those,
just with volunteers.
lineage companies
Put Idaho on the map.
Wait, so was Stacy talking to him at this point? Because the stuff he's saying sounds very Othramish, if that makes sense. This sounds Othramish.
Christy, Steve, we're going to stay on this case.
Thank you.
We're not
Thank you.
going anywhere.
Thank you.
You guys have been candid with us. We'll keep asking questions. Any
You're welcome, Steve and Christy. We're going to keep asking questions. We're not going anywhere.
resource that we have available, our audience is praying for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. It was big for you guys to come back to Moscow
Yeah.
tonight.
I am
Being
going
a
to
targeted
replay.
attack.
I'm going to
At
replay
3
the
o'clock on
part
Thursday.
And they need
where he actually says they didn't need to go upstairs. That's what I wanted to take a look at. He says they did not need to go upstairs. Does anyone know this window? It looks like, oh yeah, it is the kitchen window. It's the kitchen window, Jules. Jules, that looks like the kitchen window. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I want to hear that part again where they said they did not need to go upstairs.
And those people are like lawyers, and they don't want to say anything, and they don't have the guts to come up and be alpha and be like leaders and say, hey, we might say something that's wrong. We're going to take that hit. So the officers, they looked me straight in their eyes. The lead detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can, but somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released. It seems like they're trying to suppress the story. We want to put rewards out. They're like, don't do that. Yeah, I get it. Your town doesn't
What? They told them not to put rewards out.
want to have reward posters posted all over when you come and you do your rush. You're not going to get a lot of students if they see those things. But this community is not
Oh my
going to
God,
heal.
That's all they care about. That's all they care about. Keep it hush hush. I don't think they believed this was going to be as big as it got. I don't think Idaho believed this would be as big as it's gotten. I don't think they believed it was going to hit the national news. And once it did, they found a way to profit from it. Once it did, they found a way to profit from it. That's insane.
Tell this guy's pulled off the streets. It ain't gonna happen. Think it through. It's not gonna happen. He has to be off the streets. We all are working for the same thing.
When was the last time y'all heard from the police?
Thursday, we looked at our phone records. We want to be accurate. We don't want to sell anyone out.
About 3 o'clock on Thursday.
And
they
did y'all
need-
get an update from the police about the investigation?
There was nothing. We have no updates for you.
There was no update. They
Via
needed me to
text.
sign a waiver form so that they could investigate something
Some mail.
that was mail related. So we're working with them. We're not selling them out. We love our law support.
The FBI, everybody that's here.
I've
We just have no information as family, and it's tough day after day after day. I mean, every day you just wake up and think today's the day we're going to hear something, and you see these, oh, there's a break in the case, and it'll just be something stupid.
the sixth
you know?
person in the
There's
on the lease that was never there. Stop playing games. This is serious. These are people's lives, and this is the future of this community. There's going to be 10,000, 15,000 kids that come into this community next year, or they don't.
Nope.
So be serious.
I had the opportunity to speak to some of my sources, and
Sauces.
I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week, we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse her back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
That makes sense.
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
yeah,
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to
May
go
have
up
been
the
the target.
steps. Let's stop playing.
He said he doesn't have to go up the steps, that he didn't have to go up to Maddie and Kaylee.
Playing games, guys.
So he knew who did it? So did he know who did it? Because why would you say he said he did not need to go upstairs?
Need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't.
All right, I'm going to end that interview there, but holy shit. You guys heard it, right? Like, this is crazy. Let me see what you guys are saying. Have you seen the interview he did where he said Hunter opened the door to Xana's room and found them at 2:15 and also said that the scream we heard was probably him screaming? No. Can you link it? Eyed Red Man, thank you for joining. Can you link it? Is verbal diarrhea straight? Oh my God. Well, on that note, about enrollment, blah, blah, blah. Exactly. That's all they fucking care about. Money, money, money. About enrollment. Yo, on that point, Jules, on that note, let's do another.
Good evening, America, and welcome to this special edition of Cross Country on location in Moscow, Idaho. Tonight, we remember Ethan, Zana, Kaylee, and Maddie. Lives just getting started, cut short by a still unnamed criminal. It's been about 2 weeks since the University of Idaho students were stabbed to death in their beds while they slept in that home right behind me. This gruesome attack has shattered peace of mind here in Moscow, in a town that answered questions about this brutal crime. You'll hear from those of you and your family, and we're hoping to get answers for you. Sir, when was the last time you talked with law enforcement about the case?
Well, we just had a vacation. Law enforcement told me that they were going to drop off a little bit and not to expect the same type of communication that I had gotten before. They passed it on to another person. So basically, long story short, it was Wednesday, 5 p.m. was the last time that they reached out to me. So yeah, that's rough.
Sir, what are they telling you?
They're kind of just telling me that they can't tell me much, which is frustrating to me because I've been very trustworthy. I do know things. I haven't shared things. We're the same family that found the original timeline. We're the same family that broke into the phones. We tried everything in our ability to try to get into this system because
Again, I see like how they're divided here. He's saying we're the same family. Like, in other words, we're the ones. This Goncalves family, we're the ones that found this, found that. It seems like they're divided. Listen.
the court order is not the fastest thing. So my daughter.
Give us any, then they have the.
I don't want to talk bad about them because these are some hardworking individuals, and I'm doomed without them. We're all doomed without them. This defund police is just a terrible idea. The fact that we're finding out that there's more than just my daughter and these children that have suffered, it's terrible to think that we can defund these guys. It's an absolute atrocity. That's not something that is it's political. It's not political. This is just facts, guys. We can't allow these people to just run free. So beyond that, they haven't shared a lot. We have some private detectives that have reached out to us and given us information. We take that with a grain of salt and we try to be careful. Just today, I reached out to the officers and said, hey, this guy's treated me with respect on the show. I'd like to share some things with him that I found out on my own, and they asked me to not do that. So we're holding our tongue. We're waiting patiently, but we're definitely concerned.
Yeah. So, sir, I had the opportunity to speak with those same law enforcement officials today and was able to get some information out from them as well. We want to do everything that we can do to get you answers and to solicit more information for the timeline. But there's gaps in that timeline. Is there anything that you can share with us that may put people in that direction where they would feel willing to share about that timeline?
I've heard a little bit of feedback on this that people are nervous about the timeline. I'm going to tell you guys that there's so much attention on this. If you can share your information, if you can post it, I mean, it's the internet. You can do these things.
You know, I was going through crime scene photos, and back here, I found a red bucket and a white, like a slide, like one of those, like a chancleta, whatever slide. A flip-flop. There you go, a flip-flop. A white flip-flop and a red bucket back here in this area. And that's like by Dylan's room over here. I found that in the crime scene photos. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Anonymously, go forward. You don't have, and for those people who are afraid, like maybe I was intoxicated or I'm underage, that's not what they care about, guys. They're not looking at that. That is not going to happen. So give your information, give out that picture, that image, that video, that self going to happen. So give your information, give out.
How strange that there's a rope
that is not
there,
going
right?
to happen. So
isn't that strange that there's a rope
give your
there?
information.
Hold on. Okay, this is the timeline that they have going here. From 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. They're at the Corner Club. I should play that video. I'll do it tomorrow because I have stuff to do after this. So they're at the Corner Club from 10 to 1:30 a.m. Then at 1:40, Kaylee and Maddie, they're at the Grubtruck. We played that. We saw that. 1:45 a.m. Kaylee and Maddie are home. They're saying Kaylee and Maddie are home at 1:45, according to this timeline. But that doesn't seem right because when we're reviewing the Grubtruck video, it looks like they're not picked up until like 1:48, 1:49. So how are they home at 1:45? That's odd, right? Like the whole timeline is completely off.
Give out that picture, that image, that video, that selfie, whatever it is, give it out and know that there's zero chance that they're coming to you for, ruining ruin your career or your anything along those lines. They're just looking for data right now. And you could be the key. You might be something that has been overlooked. So I just implore people to come forward, especially when you know you're even close to that timeline, because technology is the only thing that doesn't lie, really. It's just data. And then we can analyze it as a society and determine what it is, but it doesn't lie. It's just simply data. So it's better than an eyewitness. It's better than anything that we can produce. It's right up there with DNA. And I just implore you, sometimes even if you think that selfie has nothing in the background, maybe there's a car that should be there, that somebody said in their alibi, I parked right here next to this tree. And then there's that tree and there's not, your car's not there.
Steve, we're going to put that number on the screen for people to call.
Thank you.
Give any information. Sir, thank you so much for coming on the program. Keep us posted on what's going on.
Steve likes this guy. It seems like he always has him on. You guys, let's see. Let me go to my playlist. Thank you, everyone who's joining this live. I'm just trying to dig here. I'm trying to dig here for interviews from the Goncalves family. Like it's the older ones. I'm sorry, I'm going to, oh, here's one with the hex. Maybe I should hex, like the hex hat. Let's see. Here we go. Wow. Okay, so he's on.
Mother and father.
He's on with News
They've been patiently
Nation.
waiting by.
He's on with News Nation here with the hex hat. News Nation was like one of the bigger news coverage stations covering this case. So let's see what he says here. Being that it's News Nation, maybe he gives different information, okay?
I mean, I didn't see anything there that caught my eye. I just was overtaken by the fact that I was in a courtroom going over a case that had to do with two people that I cared and loved about. It's a little bit unreal, but
two people that I cared and love about. Again, it's just like, Steve, why? Just explain why. Why divide the family, Steve? Is there a reason for that? Was there a fight between Kaylee, Maddie, and Ethan and Xana that you have to suddenly feel like, like their names should not be mentioned? You know what I mean? Why not mention Ethan and Xana? They're college students. They lived with your daughter. Why not mention them? That's odd to me.
I was just overtaken by the moment.
Uh-oh, ad alert.
Let me
Ad alert. No, thank you.
That is an understatement. Being overtaken by something, you're in a club no one ever wants to belong to. There are so many others across this country who have been through what you've been through and say the same thing. It's unbelievable. They're numb. Does that sum up how you felt? Can you tell me what you thought?
I expected to feel just this immense amount of hate. And I'm sure that will come. I think that I'm a little bit in shock still. But looking at him, I just felt nothing. I mean, I just looked at him like, and I couldn't take my eyes off of him, his every moment. And I just could not believe that he has done what he has done. And I had a sick feeling for sure. It was very emotional. But on the other hand, I just was numb.
I expected him to be a bigger monster and a more intimidating.
I mean, I'm like, this is the guy?
Yeah.
This is the guy that murdered our daughter.
Are you going to be okay with continuing these court hearings? Are you going to show up at all of these court hearings? This is a lot. It's a lot to process. Before this, you were just parents of a couple of really great kids and living the American dream. And now there's this new normal in your life.
I think we'll lean on the prosecutor to tell us if the information is going to be to a level. Like I've already told them what I'm comfortable with hearing about the family house. I don't want to hear any of the gory details. So there'll be certain days that we're there and certain days that we check out,
We have Shannon that will keep us in tune with that as well. And we have other family members that will be going on some of those harder days. They feel that they can be there because we know it's a long road, but and it's a drive for us, but we'll do it every day if we have to. We just like don't want to go
Christy.
into bad details.
Who made Kaylee a Boston fan?
There,
Who
because we know it's
made
a long road, but
Kaylee-
and it's a drive for us. But we'll do it every day if we have to. We just
Who made Kaylee a Boston fan? I'm curious. I'm curious because Bethany's wearing a New England Patriots jersey. So I'm curious. What's up? What's up with Massachusetts there in Idaho?
like don't want to go
Christy.
into bad details.
There's there, on the screen. There are pictures of Kaylee as you're talking, and I'm always struck by how much she looks like you. Absolutely
thank
stunning.
you.
Just such a
She was
beautiful girl.
beautiful.
Indeed.
Gorgeous.
Definitely didn't look
And
like the mom's girl.
she looks like you, Steve. She's got some of you too. I just wanted to get a sense from you about justice. What is it? What does it look like for you? I mean, you're just starting this process.
For me, it's going to look a lot like an end. I mean, justice doesn't have a room where you can read books and you can go to school and you can have, 3 meals and you can have your vegan diet. To me, that's not justice. Justice is when you leave the planet and the whole world is able to rejoice and be glad that you are not there. That's justice, and we will forgive him. We will. We're not going to have that heavy weight on us. We will forgive this individual, and we will. But he has to pay for what he's done, and it's not just our daughter; it's all the victims he needs to pay justice to. And that's all I can say about it.
Yeah, Christy, it's always a shock to face the person who's alleged to have committed these horrendous acts and changed your lives forever.
Would tell him that he destroyed our lives in an aspect. Does he realize what he has taken from us?
That were bullies to you through your life when you were struggling, you picked the wrong girls. My girls have been through a lot, and they weren't the ones to pick on somebody that because they were overweight or they were struggling and people weren't. They were actually the ones to stick up for you. So yeah, you picked the wrong person if you were looking for vengeance on some people that were mean to you.
What? Steve believes is someone paying vengeance on something these girls did. Let's play that again.
Yeah, you picked.
Because who the hell is gonna call Brian Kohlberger a fat ass? Who's gonna bully Brian Kohlberger? Are you fucking kidding me? No. Wait, let's hear that again.
The wrong person if you were looking for vengeance on some people that were mean to you in your life. And you picked,
Listen,
and they weren't the ones to pick on somebody that because they were.
they weren't the
over-
ones to pick on someone. They weren't the ones to pick on someone.
The wrong girls. My girls have been through a lot, and they weren't the ones to pick on somebody that because they were overweight or they were struggling and people weren't. They were actually the ones to stick up for you. So yeah, you picked the wrong person if you were looking for vengeance on
You picked the wrong person if you were looking for vengeance.
some people that were mean to you in your life.
People that were mean to you in your life. Who was calling Brian Kohlberger? Who was bullying him in this house? No one. No one. So the fact that he's the one being blamed for this is ludicrous.
Picked the wrong community, and we're gonna have to hold you accountable for that mistake.
Speaking of that accountability, has the prosecution or anybody from the prosecutor's office discussed the option of the death penalty? Because victims' families are consulted typically throughout the process, and this is an option on the table in the state of Idaho.
We've talked with them. We've had multiple meetings. I think they probably want to do it all the families together before they just approach one. That would make the most sense. But we've had
No, the prosecution did not seek the death penalty. No. No, they were scared. They had no evidence. They had zero evidence. They would have lost. The prosecution instead decided to offer a plea deal. That's what really happened. They had no case. They had zero. They had no evidence against Brian Kohlberger. They would have lost.
meetings, but we have not crossed that actual
Question.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't even disclose just until recently that they were this close. They kind of said that, hey, give us some time. We think we have the right person. We're going to get this. But we couldn't go from that to death penalty or those type of details.
Do you both have a feeling as to how you would respond to that question once the prosecutors put it to you?
Imagine being able to build any.
Okay, I want to hear this. I want to hear if they were for or against the capital punishment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know.
We're glad that we live in
And that
Idaho.
is,
Definitely.
I'm assuming that you are in favor of the death penalty for this
absolutely.
If
defendant.
our daughters could
There you go. Why didn't they keep fighting it? Why did they allow it? They even said that after the plea in the press conference. Yes. No, Idaho 100% started out going. No, Idaho 100% started out as going for DP.
Switch places with him, and I'm saying Maddie as my daughter. We do it in a heartbeat. If they could sit there and have 3 squares, a place to live, and we could call them, we could write them letters, they could watch TV, they could get
I
educated.
would love if Maggie and Keely were doing life in prison right now.
Yeah. So
At least
You guys, the plea deal, this plea deal story or news didn't come out until the DoorDasher, until Molly's footage was released. Remember, once Molly's footage was released, it was immediately we heard about the plea deal. If you guys remember, chat, do you guys remember this? That, yes, I agree. They were going for the DP. They were going for the capital punishment. But once Molly's video surfaced, once the DoorDasher evidence surfaced, no, by the way, there's technically no evidence of a DoorDasher. There's zero evidence of this DoorDasher. I don't believe the Molly story. I believe it's all a cover-up. So once the Molly footage was released, almost immediately, that freaking plea deal came out. Because in my opinion, law enforcement knew that they were going to be found out. They were going to be found out that it was a cover-up. They couldn't go to trial with Molly. They couldn't put Molly on the freaking to testify. They could not. The plea deal happens after Canfield's Mountain shooting and fire. Hi, Court Jester. I'm going to take a look at that. But from what I recall, it was immediately after we heard about the DoorDasher story. Once the DoorDasher story came out, it seems almost immediately the plea deal was offered. From almost 3.5 years ago down the memory hole. Yo, facts. Here we are, dude. Here we fucking are. Yeah, the story. Idea said, have y'all looked at the affidavit saying Brian Bethany Funk has evidence that could clear BK? Yes. They're saying that Bethany is still holding on to exculpatory evidence. That's crazy. She's now hiding, yeah. And what is she hiding? She's hiding. I think she's afraid to, she's hiding because she's afraid for her life. In my opinion, I think she's just afraid for her life. And she knows what these people are capable of. And honestly, that just speaks more to Brian's innocence. This chick is scared for her life, still hiding, because guess what? She knows the real killers are out there, you guys.
We could talk to them.
That's not.
They'd be breathing.
A punishment equivalent to being killed. That's God's role. And if you want to play God's role, then you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to go answer to Him.
Do you know if the Mogan family feels the same way? I know you all are very close with the Mogans.
We've not talked to them about that. I was going to call her last night, and I did not. So I'm not sure.
To talk about.
I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that that they will, but I can't say that for sure.
They're very
I want
forgiving
to ask.
family.
It's incredible to hear the words forgiveness out of your.
The Mogan family, they just stayed out of the limelight. So sad.
Mouth, Steve, it floors me. It's extraordinarily magnanimous. You're a very strong family if you're able to be there today, especially on day one of this.
All right, thank you guys. Let me just go back to the Grubtruck, okay, where we left off. I'm just gonna go there because Can you guys hear me well? Are you guys, can you let me know if you guys can hear me? Thank you for joining me on this Saturday morning. I appreciate it, you guys. I love the passion everyone has for this case because I just, you know, this community is awesome. Here's where we left off on the Grub truck. I hear, oh, Bubbly Waters. Shout out to Bubbly. Shout out to Bubbly Waters. She left a comment on my video. She knows everything. Is she a private investigator? I don't know. Bubbly knows everything in this fucking town. And she mentioned that this Twitch video is actually 4 hours long. 4 hours long. I guess I can do the 4 hours at one point, like a marathon or something. But here, I'm just gonna play what's on here. The rest of this. This is when Kaylee and Maddie are still there. Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be almost.
Okay. I am also learning some names. I know who number 9 is, and I know who number 8 is now. Okay, so I'm freaking. I'm learning.
I better get to it. Okay, you got it. I got 2 pork tacos. Done. 1 5 cheese, 1 basil pesto, 2 pork tacos, $24.50. Thank you. 2 Goncalves. Thank you.
I'm gonna do this. Hold on. If we decide, since we first
People have fallen. People have fallen over. Sorry, I'm talking to Twitch stream. Okay, so good. Absolutely. Thank you. How are you doing? I'm doing extremely well. What sounds good? Can I get a big burrito? Yeah.
Number 9 and number 8.
For the big burrito, would you like pork or chicken? Chicken. Got it. And then you said a Mountain Dew? Yes, please. Excellent.
You see number 9 and number 8? Okay. I have something I want to play. It's on TikTok. Okay. It's number 9 and number 8, you guys. It's on TikTok. Let me go there. This channel is, I love this channel. This channel is great. I'm going to give him a shout out. Let me look for that video. Give me 1 second, okay? Bear with me here. I have this on here somewhere. I watched it last night. I actually reposted on my TikTok. Let me see if I find it. 1 second. Here we go. I got it. You guys ready? Okay. Now, let me share my screen. Go back here. Remove. Okay. I'm going to share this with you guys. This is a video I found on TikTok. Share. Check this out. Check this out. Ready? Okay. Now, this video is from available at not available. He's on TikTok. He's got 255,000 followers, 4 million likes. He's like, you know, anyway. He posted this 2 days ago, and let's see what he caught on to, okay? Ready?
When this guy noticed Kaylee and Maddie.
I wish I could slow this down a little because he goes super fast.
Right. He waved this girl and ran in the open. When this guy noticed Kaylee and Maddie arrived, he waved this girl and ran in the opposite direction. Look, here's the guy, there is Kaylee, and there is Maddie. And this girl wants to go with him that way, but it looks like he noticed Kaylee and Maddie. And this is what happens next. He waved her and then ran in the opposite direction when Kaylee and Maddie arrived. Not only he is the same guy visible here at the corner club behind Kaylee and Maddie and right between Joe and Hayden, but also he's the guy with the blue container.
I haven't watched this video. When I saw this shit, when I saw that they caught him there, yo, What do you guys think? What do you think is in there? What do you guys believe that it's in this bucket? What is he taking?
Coming out of the 1118 King Road house.
Look at this. Did you guys see this?
There is 1122 King Road house and there is 1118 King Road house. There's a front door, there is another back door, and this back door leads directly to the sliding glass door of the 1122 King Road house. Shortly after this person enters the 1118 King Road house, they muted the clip. After parking his truck in front of the house, this guy transported the blue container to the truck 50 minutes prior to the 911 call, and all of the 4 people drove away with this car and that truck.
Can you guys hear that? Let me know, chat. Can you hear it? Chat, can you hear that? The tote. I can't see it. You can't see it? Hey, Jane, Kendall, what's up? Jane, you weren't able to see it? Hi, I want to make sure you guys could hear it. Yes, we hear it? Okay, I'm going to play it again, okay? One more time. Just once more. Let's take it all in because, again, people are saying that there's nothing in the Grub truck. Well, guess what, babies? There's shit in the Grub truck. There's stuff to look at. There is. Look at this.
When this guy noticed Kaylee and Maddie arrived, he waved this girl and ran in the opposite direction. Look, here's the guy, there is Kaylee, and there is Maddie. And this girl wants to go with him that way, but it looks like he noticed Kaylee and Maddie. And this is what happens next. He waved her and then ran in the opposite direction when Kaylee and Maddie arrived. Not only he is the same guy visible here at the corner club behind Kaylee and Maddie and right between Joe and Hayden, but also he's the guy with the blue container coming out of the 1118 King Road house. There is 1122 King Road house and there is 1118 King Road house. There's a front door, there is another back door, and this back door leads directly to the sliding glass door of the 1122 King Road house. Shortly after this person enters the 1118 King Road house, they muted the clip. After parking his truck in front of the house, this guy transported the blue container to the truck 50 minutes prior to the 911 call, and all of the 4 people drove away with this car and that truck.
You see that gray truck? You see that gray truck? Hang on one second, bro.
When this guy noticed Kaylee and Matt
Wait, that gray truck.
50 minutes prior to the 911 call, and all of the 4 people drove away with this car and that truck.
You see that gray truck? Watch this. I've seen this truck before, and we're going to go there. Let's go to... We're going to play the street view. We're going to play the street view. Let's go to that video because I've seen that gray truck before. Oh boy, I hate when I can't find anything and I'm live and people are waiting. I don't like that feeling. Grub, truck, street view. Let me do that. I should have a playlist of all of these things so that I can just go back to the playlist. Like, I don't know why I don't do that. But check this out. We're going to go to the street view because I literally see that gray truck and I need to find out for myself if it's the same one. Okay. Here we go. Connor. All I got to do is go to Connor's channel. This is the gray truck, right? Let me share my screen. Share screen. Boom. Share. Here we go. There's no sound here. Is it the same truck? Let's see. We're going to see it pull out. We're going to watch it pull out and we're going to compare. Where are you? Here we go. Okay, first of all, let's see who gets into it, right? First of all, let's see who gets into this gray truck. I think it was Ian or Enan, whatever the fuck his name is. Watch. Number 9, number 8, they're all together. I knew it. I knew they were all together because they all left together. I knew it. Watch. Number 9, number 8 leaving. Check this out. Yeah, we out, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I just picture them talking this way. Yeah, buddy, let's go, buddy. Let's be out, bitch. I don't know. I was just being funny. All right. So let's see who gets in. And as it pulls out, I want to like pause it and compare it to the other vehicle. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Let's go. Boom, lights. Is this a GMC? What is this? Okay. See, it looks gray, right? It looks gray. Okay, now let's watch. Okay. Oh, there's plates. There's actually plates in the front. See, I thought Idaho only used plates in the back, not the front too. Ready? Let's see how this truck looks and compare it, because then we know whose truck it belongs to. Girl in a dress. Oh no. No, that's not a dress. Is that what's his face? The guy with the black tank top and black shorts. His name is escaping me right now, but I know who he is. Watch. That's the same car. It's the same car. Look at it. Check it out. Look at the rims, right? You see that? It's covered. The back is covered. That's the same car. Now let me go back and show you. It's the same car, you guys. It is. Look at it. It's the same car.
And this is what happens next. He waved her and then running the opposite direction when Kaylee and Maddie arrived. Not only he is the same guy visible here at the corner club behind Kaylee and Maddie and right between Joe and Hayden, but also he's the guy with the blue container coming out of the 1118 King Road house. There is 1122 King Road house and there is 1118 King Road house. There's a front door, there is another back door, and this back door leads directly to the sliding glass door of the 1122 King Road house. Shortly after this person enters the 1118 King Road house, they muted the clip after parking his truck in front.
Look at those lights. I paused it so you can look at the lights. Now I'm gonna pause the street view. So we compare the backlights. Okay, you see that light? Okay, now I'm gonna stop it, stop sharing. You're gonna see it's the same truck, you guys. It's the same car. Ready? Share screen. Look at the lights. You see? Dude, it's the same truck. Dude, it's the same truck. There's more here. There's more here, and there's absolutely no way Brian Kohlberger committed these crimes because there's more people here. It looks like a cover-up to me, in my opinion, and I'm going to continue covering this case, and I'm going to continue shedding light and shedding awareness, raising awareness as to what is happening here, because this is not right. This is not justice. It's not justice for the four, and it's not justice for Brian Kohlberger. Okay, so I'm going to end this live here. We're a little past an hour. I want to thank everyone that joined. Glenn, Janie, Jules, ID. Thank you so much. I appreciate your thoughts and I respect your opinions on this case. Amy, thank you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone.